Straight ahead on 12 News, sprains, strains, and fractures. We'll take you inside a Golden Valley clinic to look at a painful trend. Then, up, and away, the Maple Grove skier who hopes to make one impressive leap. But first, a rally at the Capitol to shed light on the issues impacting home health care. 12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Johnson.
And I'm Alexandra Renslow. Hundreds rallied at the Capitol Tuesday to demand a rate hike for workers who care for the elderly and people with disabilities.
Renee Bonneau caught up with a group from the Northwest Metro, and she joins us now with their story. Renee?
Mike and Alex, everyone I spoke with had the same message. In home and community-based care, low wages equal high turnover and compromised quality of service.
I couldn't hear you.
They united at the Capitol to demand more pay. The so-called 5% campaign is made up of caregivers who say they deserve a 5% rate hike. But Sylvia Maeka and Nicole Weber came here for more than just a raise.
I've only worked with Marianne a year, and we've gone through at least 10 to 15 staff changes in the past year.
They're here for their client Marianne, who lives in a Maple Grove group home, and others like her who depend on caregivers to live comfortably.
It's human nature to always want to find something else, but you remember how far you've come with them and you've grown with them, and that's really difficult to just walk away from.
But with low pay and the emotional and physical challenges of working with the elderly and disabled, turnover in this field is high, putting a strain on both caretakers and their clients.
I think it's great that the turnout's here and that people are choosing to get more politically involved, because that's where the raises are going to have to come from if we get them.
Legislators from both sides of the aisle are listening, with several showing up to the rally to offer their support.
I just feel that the people who support people with disabilities need to be treated like the professionals that they are. They've endured cut after cut over the last 10 years, and I feel like a 5% increase is more than reasonable, and it's something I'm proud to get behind.
Funding for home and community-based services mainly comes from Medicaid or state medical assistance. For every dollar the state puts in, the federal government matches it. Mike and Alex, I'm told 47 legislators have already agreed to sign on when this bill is drafted. The legislative session begins in late February.
All right, Renee, thank you very much. A Brooklyn Center lawmaker is working on legislation to combat a dramatic rise in heroin overdose deaths in Hennepin County. Senator Chris Eaton wants to make an antidote drug called naloxone more widely available. Paramedics have increasingly used it to treat overdose patients. Eaton's bill would allow police to carry naloxone since police are often first to respond. The issue is personal to Eaton. Her daughter died of a heroin overdose.
A Brooklyn Park man will be sentenced next month after he was found guilty in a large sex trafficking operation. A jury convicted Antonio Washington Davis on 6 counts of prostitution-related charges. The criminal complaint revealed that Washington Davis worked with relatives and a former girlfriend to exploit girls for sex using the website Backpage.com. Authorities say the sex trafficking operation involved numerous victims and multiple communities across Minnesota.
Quick thinking and a quick call to police helped nab 2 suspects linked to a string of burglaries in Brooklyn Park. Since August, 16 cases of home burglaries and thefts from autos have occurred in the southwest part of Brooklyn Park. In every incident, the thieves were successful because vehicles or garage doors were left open. And recently, police were able to make 2 arrests in the area thanks to a watchful neighbor.
An observant neighbor saw some people walking down the street, didn't feel they fit the area, looked right. We're starting to look into vehicles, so they called 911 right away, which is perfect. It gave our officers time to get out in the area.
Police say residents tend to start paying attention when thefts are happening in their neighborhood, but the easiest way to prevent crime is to keep doors locked and valuables out of sight.
The doors are now open in Plymouth on a new comprehensive care center devoted to breast health. The Piper Breast Center is now open in Plymouth in the West Health Building. It's estimated that 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime. From mammography screenings to ultrasound imaging, the new center offers virtually all the same services available at the original Piper Breast Center at Abbott Northwestern Hospital in Minneapolis.
So the patient can be seen for any kind of breast concern. It certainly is not just breast cancer, which is one of the most important care delivery systems we provide.
The new center in Plymouth has a staff of around 25 people. Well, sprains, strains, and fractures are some of the less desirable effects associated with sports.
But doctors in the field of sports medicine say those injuries are on the rise as Americans become more active. And in today's Health Check, Elaine Cleveland shows us a new clinic in the northwest suburbs that focuses on a growing need.
Rooney firing over the middle, complete to Faulkner. Oh, and a huge collision, and he drops it.
The field of play can be a fun,
He is hit hard.
yet dangerous place. And in a sport such as football, it comes with the territory.
Football is still kind of, I think, number one. It's the nature of the sport.
But whether it's a contact sport or cardio,
In sports medicine, there's all sorts of different injuries.
injuries are bound to happen.
Knees and shoulders and elbows and wrists, those are always pretty common injuries.
Dr. Shane Gustafson would know. He's a sports medicine and musculoskeletal specialist at North Memorial's new Sport, Spine, and Joint Clinic in Golden Valley.
Our goal here is at Sports, Spine, and Joint is to see people for any and all musculoskeletal conditions, whether it be sport injury related or just an arthritic or degenerative knee or hip. We have 3 exam rooms.
The clinic opened in October to act as a resource where patients with muscle or bone injuries can go without a doctor's referral.
That's where we kind of fit in that niche. And again, that includes not only for knees or shoulders or hip issues, but backs are a big one too.
Yet when it comes to sports injuries,
The intensity levels.
Dr. Gustafson says they're a growing trend.
Especially nowadays, people are much more active.
That increased activity comes with obvious health benefits.
Looks like maybe the ball hit her.
But occasionally, it also comes with some unfortunate consequences.
Weineke went down hard.
Sometimes injuries happen, and so sometimes there's just no good explanation as to why.
In Golden Valley, Elaine Cleveland, 12 News.
And Dr. Gustafson did offer up a few explanations as to why there's an increase in sports-related injuries. Among them, children are playing sports at an earlier age, and certain activities like hockey, dance, and cheerleading now last year-round. Coming up, a Maple Grove teen with an extra bounce in her step.
She's dreaming big, and you'll see why she just may have a perfect landing. And later in sports, we catch up with the Hopkins veterans girls hockey team that is off to an unbeaten start.
But first, a mild warm-up, then weather models hinting at snow early next week. The Winter Olympics are in February, and a Maple Grove teen will be watching closely.
Elle Gaudette has always been a great skier, and as Sonia Goins shows us, she hopes to land on the world stage.
Push hard, reach up harder, all the way to the top. I started off with just like a rec program when I was really young. Arms up hard.
Lots of cartwheels, lots of back handsprings in my living room.
15-year-old Elle Gaudette has always liked to soar to new heights.
Lift, lift.
Karen Osborne has coached Elle in gymnastics for 9 years.
She's done a lot of different things. She's very athletic. Once she started to ski, she knew that that was her love and it was her passion. Push hard.
She eventually combined gymnastics with skiing, and it tumbled into something much bigger.
If you're going to land facing me, make sure you're looking the other way.
This summer, Elle was recruited by the U.S. Elite Aerial Development Team.
It was life-changing. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm taking my life to a totally different level right now, and I was just so excited about that.
I always knew there was something a little bit different about her. She's extremely passionate.
Elle now trains year-round at the U.S. Olympic Training Center in Lake Placid.
Training to be an Olympian is a lot of hard work. Elle's on the trampoline for at least 8 hours a day, and that's just the half of it.
Elle also practices doing flips and twists, except with a splashy landing.
I've gotten the wind knocked out of me several times.
And yes, it can be dangerous.
You have to be able to fall and get right back up and do it again.
She's in a very safe environment. They always practice safety first. I will be very scared when I see her doing this stuff off of huge jumps.
But that's something Elle doesn't really think about.
You just have to think not about being afraid and just focus on what you're gonna do.
She's more focused on the future.
Definitely go for your dreams, because it's possible even if you think I could never, but that's what I thought, and now I'm here.
Sonia Goins, 12 News.
Besides pursuing her Olympic dream, Elle also hits the books. She's a straight-A student. Still ahead, a Fair Oaks elementary employee received statewide recognition for her work in the classroom.
But first in sports, a local adapted soccer team aims for another state championship. John Jacobson has that and more coming up next. Time again for hockey season, and there's a local team that's doing well, but it's hard to keep the coach happy,
Well,
even when you're doing well.
Ben's a tough guy to please sometimes, but I think he drives his kids and they have success, so I think it works out well. The Hopkins girls hockey team has a lot of experience coming back this winter and should hold its own in the Tough Lake Conference. The Royals are off to a 2-0 start and have scored 12 goals in those 2 victories, but head coach Vin Paolucci insists his team's not playing very well and still needs to get a lot better.
It's about, are we putting passes together? Are we playing good defense? Are we moving the puck? You know, how's our forecheck? How do we support each other? So it's all those little things, you know. So we don't really worry about the score, but are we playing a good game? And we haven't yet.
Hopkins should benefit from having a strong senior class, with most of the girls having played varsity together for several years. Royals will also lean heavy on senior goalie Aaron O'Neill, especially given the competition they'll face in the Lake Conference.
It's huge. I mean, she's a great goalie. We know that if we do give up 2-on-1s because we're so intention of offensive zone that she can stop it, because she's just an amazing goalie.
My whole goal is just to make the team better. If I can make a stop and we can go bring it down and get a goal like we did against Champlain, that's awesome. My goal is to just be kind of as just big, quiet, and square, really, is what coach says. So I don't want to make the crazy saves. I just want to make the easy ones and not have anything super difficult. So that's my goal.
The Royals play 3 games this week, including a back-to-back on Thursday and Friday at Eastview and at New Prague. A local adapted soccer team will try to build on an impressive run of success this weekend. The Robbinsdale Hopkins Mound West Tonka Robins PI Division team takes aim at another state title. The Robins are tuning up for the state tournament Friday and Saturday at Stillwater High School. They won 5 consecutive state titles in soccer, along with 5 in a row in softball and 3 in floor hockey. They won't talk a lot about past success this week, though.
Well, we just work on the present, really. I mean, we don't talk about it. We just like to concentrate on what's coming on towards the season and the state tournament. So.
But this group's been really good about understanding that they've really earned nothing at this point for this season, that they can't rest on what the teams before them did. And that's what's really impressed me with this group. They've focused on the work. They've understood that they might have a good team, but they haven't established themselves as a great team yet.
The Robins come into the state tournament with a 6-0 record and the #1 seeding from the North Conference. They know there are at least a couple of teams that will challenge for the title.
Our toughest challenge, if we get there, will be in the championship game against either Anoka or Dakota, because they both have great programs.
The Robins open the PI tournament Friday against Minneapolis South. Anoka Hennepin plays St. Paul Highland Park, and Park Center plays Dakota United at 6:30. The semifinals and finals are Saturday. In the CI division, Anoka Hennepin is the top seed from the north, and they play Chaska in the quarterfinals. Park Center is the #2 seed in the north, and they face Stillwater. The semis are at noon and the finals at 4 o'clock Saturday. Totino-Grace won a thriller over Osseo Friday in the state football playoffs. On this week's Sports Jam show on Channel 12, Jay Wilcox profiles a Grace senior who is an inspirational leader. Here's a bit of the story on Brooklyn Park's Carlton Djam.
He stepped it up at playoff time with 181 yards rushing and 3 TDs with 2 interceptions in the first 2 playoff games.
I play a lot both ways, but I'd say defense is my primary. That is my position where I don't come out at. I'm a defensive player firsthand, and then offense I kind of rotate. We have a bunch of really good running backs, so we all rotate.
For all of his on-field ability, Carlton's teammates and coaches rave about his personality and work ethic even more.
He's very outgoing, very fiery, emotional. He has fun out there, and when we're down, he picks us back up, so he's a good leader out there.
He's a self-made player, which is the best kind. He hasn't taken any shortcuts. He's strong, he's athletic, and he's hungry, and he's a leader. He's my kind of player.
Catch the rest of the story on Carlton Djam and more this week on Sports Jam. It's on through Wednesday at 3:30, 6:30, and 9:30 p.m. We'll have more on the Totino-Grace football team as they prepare for Friday's semifinal matchup with Eden Prairie coming up later this week on 12 News. And that's a look at sports for today.
All right, thanks, John. Still ahead, of Fair Oaks elementary employee earns high marks for helping young students learn English.
What makes her story extra special coming up next. Finally, at Fair Oaks Elementary, someone who is considered the best at what she does.
Ingrid Miera plays a vital role in helping young students grasp the English language. As Neil Persley reports, she was recently recognized as Education Support Professional of the Year.
Okay, there's a period there.
Call it paying it forward.
Popcorn.
Ingrid Miera has a special place in her heart for those trying to learn the language. She's been there.
I'm an English learner myself. I'm from Germany, so I've been learning English all along, from the 5th grade on, but I think I really have an understanding of what an English learner goes through, how hard it is, how much time it takes. I just have a compassion of working with ELs.
If a kid is having a tough day, she really has many strategies at her disposal to help them calm down, help them refocus, and help them get to the learning.
David, eyes over here.
And she has an amazing ability to command a 3rd grader's attention with a soft-spoken authority.
Wait for Miguel to follow directions. We do various techniques like focus, or reminders, are you listening?
She's here many days before school, after school, making sure everything's ready for the kids.
She's also passionate about her role as an education support professional.
We work together with our teachers, we work together with our classroom teachers, and we're a very important part of the educational system.
What makes working with little children that are so full of energy worthwhile?
Seeing them grow, seeing them change, and just getting that aha moment where someone understands something, and just how grateful they are and how eager they are to learn new things.
In Brooklyn Park, Neil Persley, 12 News.
And as Neil mentioned, Education Minnesota is the one that recognized Ingrid as Support Professional of the Year. And how great to have a teacher that's been in their shoes, right?
And knows what they're going through.
Knows what they're going through.
That's right.
That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Stay with us. Community Corners coming up next.